Hello everybody and welcome to Lauren Loves Color. This is Lauren. I am here to do a new tag, the fall coloring tag, which was created by my wonderful, amazing friend, Michaela Renee. I will have her YouTube channel and information linked down below. Please go check her out if you haven't already. She's a pretty phenomenal gal. And so I want to thank her for tagging me in this video. I haven't done a tag video in quite a long time. And so I thought it would be fun to kind of sit here and color and talk to you guys. If you don't know what I'm coloring from, many people have seen this book. This is the Cute and Spooky coloring book by Jade Summer, and I'm coloring this page, and this is actually a buddy color with Amanda Downey, who you can find her on Instagram. We decided to do this page, and I'm super excited to be coloring out of this book. I've been wanting to do it for a while, and I have two buddy colors left that I still need to do. So we're going to do that. If you're wondering what I'm coloring with today, I am using the CaliArt brush markers. I have the 120 set, I believe, and I really like that. It's got a nice wide range of colors. I decided to kind of go for something bright and playful. So yeah, I'll be talking through this to give you an idea of the colors I've used, and I'll kind of try to talk through that as well if I can remember. These are the three greens that I have used here. I've kind of just alternated the greens throughout the little flower Venus flytrap thing. I have also used this pink, which is R605. Gosh, I don't even know if you guys are even seeing these marker colors. R605 for the pink. The greens were, if you did not see them, G825, G804, and G702. Maybe you can see it in some of the light there. It's kind of dark outside. Sorry about that, guys. And then, so what I want to color next. Oh, I knew this was going to happen. There we go. My iPad was going to time out. I think I'm going to do the Katang, and I'm going to alternate in two different reds. I'll be using R105 and R107. Can you see that? I don't know. I don't even know if you care what colors I'm coloring with, but just wanted to share that in case you wanted to color along. Okay, fall coloring tag. I was actually just watching, prior to this, Meg's Art Atrium. Meg is also amazing. She is also from Texas. So it's kind of funny because we actually share in a lot of our same answers, I would say, as well as in just the general disclaimer of that we're from Texas. So it's hot here. We don't really have a traditional fall season. It's something that, you know, I'm kind of jealous of because you guys up in the north who have kind of the changing colors of the leaves and flowers and things like that, like who actually have a real fall, is really nice. Our winter is really most people's fall. So question number one, favorite fall drink. So with us not really having much of a fall and it not getting terribly cold here in Houston, I don't drink a lot of hot drinks. And when I think of fall drinks, I think of hot drinks. I mean, I guess you can kind of do the pumpkin spice thing, but pumpkin spice is also not really my thing. My husband is actually really huge into pumpkin and spiced flavored things. So is my son. I am not. And so I don't do the pumpkin spice latte. I don't do the pumpkin cold brew. It's just not really my thing. So chocolate is my thing. So I would definitely say if there's a fall drink, well, actually, okay, I take this back. I'm going to be super, what do you call it? Where you contradict yourself. I can't even think of words right now. I'm going to be contradictory because I'm going to say spiced tea. So I don't necessarily like pumpkin spice stuff, but I do really like spiced tea. And the reason is because it's somewhat nostalgic for me. My mom every year makes her own homemade spiced tea. And if you're from the South, you probably know what kind of spiced tea I'm talking about. It's where you take, it's a combination of tang, powdered tang, like the orange tang drink, sweet tea, and lemonade. And I think there's other things in there too, like maybe nutmeg and some other spices. Basically, you mix it all up into a powder, and then you just mix it in some hot water. And it's almost like a hot orange spiced tea. And it is so delicious. It's super sweet. But it's, and I'm not even like a tea drinker normally, but there's just something about it that to me just reminds me of home. and the smell of it is so good. And even now, like if I have a really bad sore throat or something like that, I'll drink it. It's so delicious. And so I would say spiced tea. Back up to that, I would say would probably be hot chocolate. I do like hot chocolate. I don't order it all the time, but spiced tea is usually my go-to, and it's usually something too that I'll make like my coworkers and things like that for Christmas. You know, and my neighbors and that kind of stuff, just a way to kind of spread some Christmas cheer. So we usually make that every year. Favorite Halloween movie? Okay, so Hocus Pocus, I would say would be my favorite Halloween movie. Again, I'm not a huge Halloween movie person. I don't like scary Halloween movies. All right, for the pot, I'm going to be using Y416. I'm not a huge Halloween movie person, but I would say Hocus Pocus. Fairly nostalgic, something that I usually watch every year and thoroughly enjoy. It's got the right amount of just like, you know, comedy and nostalgia for me that I usually watch it at least twice during the Halloween season and fall season. Favorite place to cozy up in the fall time? That's a tough question for me. So I would say like when I'm cozying up somewhere, it's usually in my living room. When it is cold outside, then I would say by the fireplace in my living room is usually just kind of like my go-to. I don't know that I have like a special spot, you know, or anything like that. I will say one of the things I like during Christmas time, maybe this is getting too far, kind of too far into you know, into the fall season, but kind of closer to Christmas and Thanksgiving and things like that. There's always a lot of like little, you know, outside church events or you know, little plays and stuff that start to be more outside, and I think there's always just something nice to just having kind of a hot cup of hot chocolate or coffee, and snuggling under a warm blanket, you know, kind of while you're walking outside and enjoying the cooler weather. So, but that for us really in Texas really falls more in the winter and less in the fall. So it's a little too hot to have a snuggle buddy in the fall time in Texas. I mean, it gets a little cold, but it's not ridiculously cold. You know, one thing I think we do have in Houston I've never really explored are like drive-up movies. I think that would be kind of fun to do in the fall time. I could imagine that being really nice and enjoyable. Favorite candy to eat on Halloween. I think this might more so be like just favorite candy in general. Halloween candy, I would say I'm a really big on Halloween. Like if I'm picking stuff out of the bucket, it's usually like a Three Musketeers. Like I don't know what it is, but like just a really good Three Musketeers is a really good candy to me. I like that a lot. Number 5, candy corn, fantastic candy or absolute trash? I love this question. I get this all the time. You know, it's always a point of discussion for people. I actually genuinely like candy corn. I know that might make me weird, but I don't mind it at all. My husband would say it's absolute trash, and will argue with me about it, but I actually don't mind candy corn at all. It's not my favorite candy, but I don't think it's trash. Haunted house or haunted corn maze. I have been on neither. I'm using Y107. I'm going to make her teeth yellow. I have been on neither, but I think it sounds like a lot of fun. I don't like super spooky though, so if, you know, I'm going to run out of there screaming, I'm not sure about that, but I've done some corn mazes and stuff before that were kind of like meant to be haunted, but weren't really, like you're not doing them at night. It's not really intended to be as scary, and I was down with that, but those that are like really intended to like, you know, make you scream and stuff like that and to be super scary, I'm not really about that. It's a little too much for my ability to be able to handle. Favorite Halloween costume you've ever worn? Bonus points if you show us a picture. Oh, I forgot about this question. Give me just one moment. I'll be right back because I think I actually have a picture. Okay, I do. All right, let me see if I can zoom in on this picture. Okay, this was in high school. This was me and my best friend at the time, Vicky. And if you can't tell what this is, we are 2 dice on a rear view mirror. You know, little dice that you kind of hang from your rear view mirror. That is what we were. And we went, my dad actually custom made this costume for him and my mom when we were younger, for like a party that they went to. And so I just find this hilarious. So there was a costume contest, and so we both went, and of course we won. It was a handmade costume. My dad even made it to where you could pop off the mirror, so you could just be 2 dice kind of walking around. So it was really, really fun. We thoroughly enjoyed that. So yeah, that was fun. So that was my favorite costume I think that I have ever worn. Philip, least favorite Halloween costume you've ever worn? More bonus points if you show us a picture. Okay, so I don't have a picture of that. There is probably a picture that exists, but I don't own it. When I was kind of listening to people answer this question, this one was really hard for me. So I would say in high school, I wore I think I went dressed as like a waiter or something like that. Again, this was like high school or middle school or something like that. It must have been like middle school or late elementary school, because we actually went trick-or-treating. Like the one with the dice and stuff, we didn't go trick-or-treating. It was just kind of like a house party we went to. But so we went, and I went with my friend. I was like dressed as a waiter, and there wasn't necessarily anything wrong with the costume. The thing that I didn't like was that my mom had this idea of like, oh, well, she was a jazzercise instructor, which is like an aerobics dance class, if you're not familiar. And she had a leotard that kind of looked like a waiter. It kind of looked like a button-down shirt. And I think she had worn it for either a Halloween themed something, or, you know, some sort of festive party type thing for jazzercise. So she was like, well, I'll let you wear this, and I'll let you borrow it. And I'm like, oh, okay, you know, sure, whatever. So I put it on. Well, if you're familiar with leotards from the 90s, you may or may not know that they, in the, back then, the leotards had kind of like a thong type backing on it, on the buttocks area of the leotard. And yeah, it was one of those. And so I wore it underneath some pants, you know, just to keep, just to kind of discreetly wear this thing. But I had a wedgie. I mean, guys, it was intense the entire night. And so I was, of course, like hanging out with friends and trying to have a good time. But all I could think about was how much this little strip of fabric was bothering me, to the point, and it was like, and I still don't understand to this day, like, why did they have to make leotards like that? Like, why was that a necessary or appropriate thing at the time to wear? Like, how, I just, like, there's no level of clear understanding as to why that should have existed, and why those did exist at the time, and how my mom could exercise in that. You know, like, that's the thing too, is like trying to think about, like, how did my mom actually even, how do you pay attention? I don't know. It really, really threw me for a loop. Okay, enough of that. Favorite fall food, or food you like to eat this time of year? So I would say that people probably are going to say things like pumpkin pie, apple pie, things like that. I'm going to say Thanksgiving is by far my absolute favorite holiday of the year. I absolutely live for it. It's just such a wonderful, splendid, and just amazing time of fellowship with friends and family. And so for me, what I really enjoy is I really enjoy stuffing. That is like, gosh, that is, I don't know why, but it's my downfall. I just absolutely love stuffing. And I'm using, sorry, I used our 703 for the spider, and I used B203 for the like spit water stuff. And then I'm going back and using Y400 for the skulls here. Let me go back and use for that mouth G702. So I really love stuffing. We don't do like the cornbread stuffing. Like we legitimately do the cheap like Stouffer's stovetop stuffing, but I don't know what it is, but it's like I can eat a whole box of that stuff. That stuff is just amazing. And it's okay to groan and to completely disagree with me, but I absolutely love it. So stovetop stuffing, and there's just something about the nostalgia of Thanksgiving that I love with that. I also love, my mom makes for Thanksgiving vegetable casserole, which is really good, which is kind of a combination of mixed vegetables and onions, and it's got mayonnaise in it, and then it has like a breadcrumb topping, or it's like a cracker topping, and that's also really good. So I really like that. Those are just really nostalgic things that I enjoy eating, and it just, for whatever reason, just reminds me of fall and reminds me of Thanksgiving. All right, let's see. The next one is tea, coffee, cider, or hot chocolate. Okay, so I think this is similar to kind of like your favorite, kind of similar to your favorite drink, but specifically calling it out. So tea, coffee, cider, or hot chocolate. Okay, so I'm going to say hot chocolate probably for me is my favorite out of that bunch. Did I say hot chocolate? I think like hot chocolate and tea. So the only tea that I really like refer to, and my favorite drink, is like the homemade spiced tea. Other than that, tea is kind of okay to me. I would rather drink probably anything else other than tea, if I could. Nothing wrong with tea drinkers, and I used to be a big tea drinker, but I've kind of, I guess, like just grown to enjoy coffee more over time, and I also do like cider. Apple cider is also really good. I have to kind of be in the mood for it, because again, I'm not as big into all of the spice stuff, but I can definitely be in the mood for some good cider. You know, if it's around, or if somebody's serving and it's really nice and cold outside, like just a hot cup of cider is just really, really good. I'm not huge into, the big thing is I'm not huge into sweet drinks, and so they're almost like a treat or like a dessert to me. Like I'm from the South, but I don't drink sweet tea. I've grown accustomed to drink like diet soda my whole life, so I've never gotten used to that. Least favorite thing about fall. Least favorite thing about fall. Ooh, what would I say for that? Maybe just all the leaves you have to rake. I think sometimes it's sad too to see kind of like the flowers die and start to go away. I think that's kind of sad. Also, fall typically means hurricane season. The end of summer and fall is always hurricane season here, so I also don't like that. So I would say that also qualifies. And then favorite fall time activity. So I would say if I'm looking for favorite fall time activity, for me, that would probably be going searching for a pumpkin. So going pumpkin patch picking and picking out a pumpkin, I would say, is really fun. I love all the fall festivals and things that happen like during this time. I think that's really really cool, and I enjoy that a lot. Bonus question, favorite fall coloring book. I would say I don't have very many fall coloring books, but I would say this one is probably a big favorite for me right now, this Cute and Spooky coloring book. This one I really like a lot. I don't know that these are necessarily fall coloring books. They kind of fall in the fall category, but they're really Halloween. Ooh, this one. Ooh. Also, I really, really like this one, which is the Easy Halloween Coloring Book by Jade Summer. I've done a few pages out of here this month, and I've also really, really enjoyed this one. So for right now, because we're close to Halloween, I'm going to kind of choose those as my two favorites. So, all right. Well, those are all of the questions for the tag. I hope you enjoyed it. I am going to go ahead and go into time lapse and finish this page, and then I will come back with you with who I am tagging. So stay tuned. All right, so you guys will see that I completed this page. I used in the backgrounds my Jane Davenport palette pastels. This is in the lit up colorway, and I used this color all over, and then kind of on the outlines I used these two colors here. So yeah, so I like that. I think the background's okay. I still feel like the color might be slightly off. I maybe should have done like a purple, or I don't know. I've just been debating about what I should do. And then I use a lot of kind of my glitter glues, and I use my glossy accents for kind of like the wet space on the bottom and the little drip and her lips, and I like that effect. I used some stickles. I used unicorn around the little danger sign. I used the pink ones for the kind of eyeshadow and blush, and then I used the purple for the little spider. And I actually think I'm going to go back and use the purple on her eye as well, since her eye is purple. Or should I leave it? Let me leave it, because I think I need a little bit of contrast there. So I can somewhat go overboard with some of the accent details, so I'm going to just put it away and calm myself down. So this is my completed page. Again, check out in the description box below Michaela's information for her channel in regards to tags. I kind of have watched a few people's videos, and I think a lot of people have already been tagged, so I'm going to go ahead. I'm not going to tag anybody in particular, but if you're interested in doing this video, please comment down in the description box below. Let me know, and I will officially tag you. I would love to see people's answers to this, and I invite anybody and everybody to be tagged. So with that being said, I hope you all have a great rest of the day. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.